Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 90 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Excellent, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. For anyone new here, Dan and I do these streams every single week, Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. Number one is to stay in tune with you guys. We like to go through the same process that you do for your live streams to make sure, you know, whatever process you have and the sense you have of what live streaming is like, that we have that same experience. Also, of course, to answer your questions. So if there's any topics you'd like us to chat about tonight, please feel free to let us know in the comments section. We'll do our best to get to all of them. And we always remind people of our three pillars, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Let's see who we have hanging out with us tonight. I see lots of comments. T3P, thanks for being here. I saw a comment a bit earlier asking for a timeline feature, which sounded kind of cool. Basically, the person was asking for the ability to stage overlays. So thanks for the feedback there. That's an interesting suggestion. I can definitely see how that could be useful if you have sort of maybe a complex series of things happening.
So would it like roll through automatically?
Yeah, it sounded like basically before the stream starts, you'd have it set where I want this to go off at this time, this to go off at this time, and this to go off at this time. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Cool.
Before I forget, we have StreamYard Spotlight Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is a great show with Dana and Kelsey, where they feature you guys. So if you're interested in participating, feel free to reach out to them. It's just about how people are using StreamYard and finding success. It's a great show. And of course, we have StreamYard Connect Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern with Ross Brand, which is a great show just about the latest things happening in the live streaming world. He also does interviews from time to time, so be sure to check that out. And recently, we have new content from a whole bunch of awesome creators. We've got Nick and Dean Imman, Daniel Batal, Roberto Blake, and Think Media, which is a great channel. Sean Cannell is part of that team, so we'll have lots of awesome content from all of them. We actually, Dee just released a video recently on our YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. Covers everything you need to know about having a easy mobile lighting setup, which is nice if you're traveling to always have good lighting no matter where you are, which people don't realize how big of a difference lighting actually makes. Even if you have a great camera, if you have bad lighting, it's not going to matter much. My lighting is actually a bit too bright right now, but it can make a huge difference.
Agreed. Yeah, so usually, I mean, you can get a really nice setup, but there's also like just sometimes all you need is just add an extra lamp and it'll make the difference. Like maybe you don't even need an amazing camera then. You just add an extra light nearby and put them in the right place. But yeah, it does make a big difference.
Chuck says, are you working on an integration with the Elgato Stream Deck? It's been a popular request for a long time, Chuck. We don't have any ETA or a date for you, but I know it's something that's important to people, and it is something we'd like to support in the future. We'll likely do hotkeys first, which would be basically as a workaround. You could just map the hotkeys to your Stream Deck integration, but we probably will make a full integration at some point. Paul joining late. Well, we appreciate you joining in the first place. No worries at all. A few people sound like they're also fans of the Stream Deck integration. Born says, I would like it if you could add selected guests at one time rather than one at a time. Interesting.
Cool.
Like an add all button. Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, I've heard that from a few like show producers as well, where you want to have like maybe some sort of option where you can select like add these three and then they kind of all animate in instead of the quick layout changes. Totally get it.
One thing we wanted to quickly announce for the people that show up to these every single Sunday, I know we didn't put up the updates flag or anything, but we sort of wanted to give you a sneak peek of something that's coming within the next few days since you're kind enough to hang out with us, and that is stereo audio. So I know musicians, this has been very important for the music community, so you'll now, again, it's not for the next few days, but within the next few days, you will have the option to select stereo audio it's in the audio section right there.
Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know what that means, basically, if you have instruments from different angles, it will actually capture that, and you'll be able, from left ear versus right ear, you'll be able to have some sense of that, which I know for some people is very, very important.
Yeah, it's not something I'll be using, but I totally get it if you're playing music.
So yeah, let us know if that's something that's important to you, if you'll actually make use of it. I know one reason why many people don't use it is because of how many people listen to things with just one earbud in, which I definitely get.
Yeah.
Charm City says, how are you making the comments scroll up like that? I'm not sure I fully understand. Charms. I think that's actually you, Ernest. Nice to see you here, Ernest. I know you've been around for a long time. Maybe if you give me a bit more clarification. I'm not sure. Do you understand the question, Dan?
No, I'm not sure.
Jeremy's giving a +1 for adding multiple guests at a time feature.
Cool.
That's actually the first time I've heard of that one. So yeah, good to know.
It makes sense. Yeah, I get it. As long as we can do it in a way like, I mean, we say this all the time, like we're all about ease of use, right? Just making it extremely easy. So as long as it's not like cluttering things up, and even if it's maybe a little harder to find, but it allows you to give some added functionality, we're all for it. As long as it doesn't make the experience more complex.
Ross says, for talk shows, any reason to enable it? Probably not. Yeah, I would probably recommend not doing it for talk shows. I think the only reason you'd want to use the stereo audio feature is if you're doing some kind of music where you think that enhances the sound for whatever reason. But again, I'm not someone who would actually use the feature, and I'm not an expert. So maybe you do want to capture the concept of like, oh, this guest is on the left side of the room or the right side of the room or whatever. Maybe you could have some cool effects there. So I'll maybe at your discretion.
Yeah, I can see if you're doing a very unique show, like it's less of like a normal talk show like we're doing here and more of like a skit, almost like a Broadway skit. Maybe there's use cases for that. We want to make, like Dave said, you want to make it sound like something's coming from over here, but pretty advanced use cases. I do think the common one will be music for sure.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. A play is an interesting one. Sound, you can create some interesting effects with sound. So I could see folks from that community using it. Bonnie says, love the sneak peeks. Great additional feature. Of course. Thanks for tuning in, Bonnie. Rob says, we want to be able to communicate in the green room. Thanks for the suggestion, Rob. Yeah, that comes up quite a bit. I'd be curious, Rob, if do you want full on like video and audio communication, or just audio, or it maybe just text? Like, it would just be DMing be enough for communication in the green room? Let us know. We're always interested in in the use cases for individuals. Hey D, thanks for hanging out with us. We just mentioned that you have an awesome new video up on the channel. One thing before I forget, we wanted to chat about briefly, because we haven't talked about sort of the state of the StreamYard team for a long period of time. So it's definitely exciting these days. So at the beginning of this year, January of 2020, I think there was only 3 of us, and now we're all the way up to 13 full-time employees, and we'll most likely have 20 by the end of the year. So many of them watch the town hall, so they're a great group of folks. And yeah, go team StreamYard. So yeah, exciting times for the StreamYard team. So especially not especially, everyone's awesome, but I certainly appreciate the customer support folks. It's nice having them helping us out. I know I used to be for the first year of the company, I was the only one on customer support. So it's nice to have people helping out on those things. Yeah,
we've got a lot of talented, very hardworking people now. So it's StreamYard speeding up, let's say.
Yeah, that's another cool thing to note about it too, is by having more people, we're actually able to do things in parallel now. So even though, maybe Dan and I are working on something in particular, we have, other people in the background working on even more ambitious things that maybe are happening like maybe 6 months or a year out that are happening at the same time. So it's a learning experience for Dan and I, but it's certainly rewarding.
So really exciting. Yeah.
Gabriel says, would love to join Team StreamYard. Awesome, Gabriel. Maybe shoot our contact at StreamYard.com a message. Another quick question for you guys actually is RTMP ingest. So I think we might have talked about this a long time ago, but we're curious how many of you would use a feature like this. For people that have no idea what I'm talking about, RTMP ingest would basically be the ability to bring in a feed from a different piece of software. So something like Zoom, or maybe I don't know, a hardware encoder or something like that, directly into StreamYard. So there's 2 ways you could maybe use this. So if you're not interested in using the StreamYard Studio at all, it could be something where you went to just for the multi-streaming capability. You could just bring in an RTMP feed and multi-stream it out, versus having something where it would actually almost appear like another feed. So you could have, your StreamYard guests, but some other RTMP feed coming into the studio. We're just curious how many of you would actually use a feature like that. And if you would, Would you be more interested in just the multi-streaming ability, or would you be interested in having it where something like Dan and I are together talking and we also have an RTMP feed below us? Let us know. Bobby says, I would love that for sports broadcasting. Very cool. Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to commentate on a show or something like that.
Sweet. Yeah, and I'd be curious where you're bringing the sports in from. Like, are you using like OBS or something for that? Like, where are you actually capturing it from?
Creative lady says, how can I stream directly to my website? Yeah, you have a few different options there. So maybe the easiest one is to just go to something like YouTube and then embed the YouTube video directly onto your website. We actually have instructions for that. If you just go to, actually the easiest way is probably if you just go to StreamYard.com/contact, there's a little chat at the bottom there and you type in stream to own website, it'll actually automatically search the docs, which is kind of convenient. And then you'll be able to see there the instructions for embedding on your own website. If you want to use your own infrastructure or something like that, you do have the option of using something like Decast, I guess is a provider there, or Wowza, where you actually a few more steps there. So you're actually like setting up your server basically, but then you are fully on. You have full control over the actual feed.
So yeah, most people just use YouTube just because it's free and it's a lot easier to do. But yeah, you'd want to use the other one if you have like you can't use YouTube for some reason. It's like you're doing something super private or like you're putting a paywall in front of it, then it gets a little trickier. Most people will just use YouTube.
Sounds like lots of people are fans of the RTMP option. Very cool. Bobby says, like ESPN, bring in the game to have those in their studio doing play-by-play. Awesome. Charlotte says, embedding can slow down a website. Yeah, any additional thing on the website is going to take longer to load. I think YouTube, has, prioritized making it relatively quick. So I think as long as you're not doing something crazy, like trying to load thousands of videos on a single page or something like that, you should be all right, but definitely worth testing.
Yeah, it also depends, so say for a website, it depends what you're using to build your website, but there's a lot of things like maybe you could have a homepage. If it's not embedded on that homepage, it shouldn't slow down the homepage. And maybe you just have like a custom page for watching streams. And in that case, that page would load a little bit slower, but maybe that doesn't matter as much. Maybe there's like a landing page in front of it. That'll load fast, and that's kind of the important one to load fast. And the other one will load slightly slower, but like Gage said, something like YouTube will try to download everything in the background. So it shouldn't be too bad. But you're right. Everything that has to be loaded will make it slightly slower.
Hey, Carlos. Carlos says virtual cam option. So if you mean bringing in virtual cams, Carlos, that certainly works. You'll just be able to select it in your camera settings. You'll be able to select the virtual camera. If you mean using StreamYard itself as a virtual camera, we don't have an option for that, but it's certainly an interesting suggestion. Let us know if that's what you're referring to. It has been requested in the past, I think, because people like using the banners and whatnot. I'm not sure what the common use case is as far as what you would be bringing StreamYard into, but maybe a Zoom call or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Could be a pretty crazy Zoom call.
Kunal says, why do we lose the names on screen when you show comments? It wasn't the case before. I do think we've always had it set to that, if I'm not mistaken, Kunal, but appreciate the feedback there. Is that right, Dan?
If we haven't always had it, we've had it for a very long time, maybe a year. So it doesn't do that with the ticker, but it does with the comments and banners. And that's just because it's just extra things. So it was, I do think we very early on, it wasn't like that. And we got rid of it just based on, or we added that just because of feedback from users. Just helps you focus on the comment a bit more. And a lot of times, say we had another person, their name is being covered by the comment. So it's kind of weird. You can see Gage and I's name, but not the third guest. So maybe we could do it a little more dynamic where if we know it's not being covered like this layout, maybe still show them. Always curious to get everyone's thoughts on that. But yeah, it was originally just based on user feedback. So people could focus more on the comment.
Oscar says, can you add the blur background feature to live stream on StreamYard? Yeah, that's something I think people call it the bokeh effect. We're certainly open to it. We would, I know people, the green screen is certainly a popular feature, but not everyone wants to have a green screen. So in the future, we might add an additional option, the sort of green screen without a green screen type feature, which would allow you to basically blur your background without having a actual green screen behind you. Patricia says, I think the way you have the names disappear while showing the comments is very elegant. That's kind of you. Everyone has their own opinions on that, but that was ours.
Yeah, it's always tricky, right? Like I said, it's all about like ease of use for us. So we do pick a lot of defaults where like there's no setting. It's just this is how we do it, and then we always just pick the one that'll be the best for most people. And if it's something where like it's really polarized, like some people really want it one way, some people really want it another way, like showing names at all, then we will add a setting. But we try to keep the settings to a minimum as well.
Tristan says, we teach via StreamYard with the YouTube embed, and that allows us to have the live chat on the side also. Very cool. Thanks for tuning in, Tristan. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people use that for basically, I don't know that there is a technical term for it, but basically like a social type webinar where you just go to an unlisted YouTube event that's embedded on your own website. And yeah, I've seen lots of very, very big events use that partly because of how stable and reliable YouTube is, and everyone's familiar with what it is. So it's easy to log on and participate without having to like sign up for a new program just to tune in.
Yeah. And most importantly, you can do it on your website.
Steve says, an RE preview, is it a coding thing or just not something you've done yet? And along the same lines, can audio be added under without its accompanying video? So Steve, preview, it's not really a coding thing, it's just something we've chosen not to do, but who knows, maybe in the future we could add something like that. I guess part of the reason we don't have it is we just, we want to make an experience where it just works, right? So I sort of feel like the preview window, your preview window is essentially what you're looking at when you're in the studio. Like everything you see in the studio inside of that box is what's going to be put out. I guess what you mean is maybe a preview window where you actually hear yourself and things like that. I don't think we would add it just because it's additional complexity, but appreciate the suggestion. We would like to add more tooling for people to understand like the quality of their network, and possibly maybe a landing page or something like that for guests before they join to know everything's working. I know that's been requested in the past, and that is something we're open to. Something for someone to click before the stream actually starts, just so they have the confidence of like, okay, it checked off all the boxes and everything's good. We certainly understand that. Can audio be added without the accompanying video? You can turn off, like you can join in as a guest with audio only, and it'll just be an avatar. Do you have anything to add there, Dan?
Yeah, so if you want, you can also we have a setting where if you want to have like just audio, if you just open up your settings on the right side, and then you'll see something just audio avatars is the name of the setting. If you turn that off, anyone who's on screen with their camera off will actually be fully hidden. So there won't even be like a little avatar thing. So you just like turn your camera off and you'll be hidden, or anyone who turns their camera off will be hidden. So that should work for you.
Yes, I forgot about the good old narrator voice.
Yeah, that was a new addition, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Rosanna says, love this platform. Thanks so much, Rosanna. That's very kind of you. Rachel says, can you add a feature to sell products while live streaming? The ability to type the URL in comments to allow viewers to purchase during the live stream would be awesome. Yeah, that's a cool suggestion. Thanks, Rachel. Obviously, you could have someone in the stream with you, like a co-host typing things out. I guess you wouldn't even have to have them in the stream. They could just be on Facebook typing in the URLs for you. But I definitely could see how that would be nice to just make it, allow you to prepare everything beforehand. Cool. Just check back at the topics here to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh yeah, we mentioned already, but yeah, in case you're just tuning in now, make sure you check out the StreamYard YouTube channel, because we have lots of new awesome content from people like D, who just released a video this weekend on lighting. So make sure you don't miss that. Romesh says, we do live singing. Can we have disable audio processing outside near the main menu? So you're just hoping to have it a bit easier to access the disable audio processing, I assume, Romesh. So we can see if we can make that easier. We try to be careful because most people, the average user doesn't necessarily have headphones or things like that, and we don't want people to accidentally select that option and then be experiencing echo and things like that. But we do appreciate the feedback.
So I'm curious as well, Ramesh. Is the challenge that you have a bunch of guests, and for every one of them, they need to turn it on, and it's like explaining to them how to do it that's challenging? Because there might be other ways for us to figure that out as well. So let me know. Is it you're continually turning it on and off, and that's the problem, or is it just that like you have a bunch of guests and you have to explain how to do it to everyone? Maybe let me know.
Michael says it's not called narrator voice anywhere. You're correct, but when we were discussing it, we were referring to it as that was the original nickname for it. But yeah, it's just a setting. What's it technically called? Avatar.
It's called audio avatar. So we've done it in such a way where like a new user coming in, like that's the word that everyone's kind of looking for. Is like I want to hide the audio avatars, so that's what we've called it that. But then I know on the town hall we've definitely thrown people off by calling it narrator voice on here. So anyone who's watching our town halls is looking for the narrator voice option, and it's called something else.
Ideas and Blog says, can StreamYard add a ready makeup powder setting or fun disco lighting like Apple invaded to StreamYard's option? Not sure I fully understand, but we have considered adding something similar to Zoom, like the touch up feature that basically, with a quick selection there, you can just, make yourself look a bit nicer. So we're certainly open to things like that. No, obviously there's not an option there now, but maybe in the future, I'll have to look into what Apple provides for disco lighting. That's cool.
Sweet. And you can always have a disco light in your house, or you can have like a GIF that has some funky stuff and just put it over top of everything.
Ruby says, any updates on being able to use a digital background without a green screen? I'm producing an online reading starring Golden Globe winning actors and would love to use StreamYard. Awesome. Congrats on starring Golden Globe actors. That's very cool. Don't have a specific timeline or anything for you, Ruby, but that it does play into the sort of ease of use pillar of wanting people to be able to use every feature without, having to do extra steps like purchase a green screen. So it is something we're open to, but I don't have an update or anything like that. Oscar says, can you add a feature or setting to disappear comments after X seconds on screen? Yeah, that's a cool suggestion. Maybe it would be something where instead of even having to show comments, just every comment would cycle through. I guess maybe you might accidentally show comments you wouldn't want to.
A little riskier, yeah.
In that case. The other suggestion we've gotten a few times is just the ability to show the entire chat on the screen. I think that's a bit popular with the Twitch community, but it's certainly possible. Maybe Oscar, we appreciate the suggestion.
Yeah, so I think a lot of that one comes from like you're doing something else, you want to show a comment, and then you forget about the comment. So yeah, let us know if that's your use case as well. I've heard that one before. Actually, I heard that one from Mike. I think it's yesterday. He might be in the chat right now. It's just like you put a comment on screen, and maybe like for your show, you're off doing something else, and you forget about the comment for half an hour. So I'm curious if that's a problem that you're having, or if you just want it to be more consistent or something, timing wise.
Rachel says, I love StreamYard. I refer to my clients. Thanks, Rachel. That's very kind of you.
Cool. Hopefully we can make live selling a little easier for you at some point.
Special Chronicles says, love your StreamYard t-shirt. How do we get the merch? We might actually start doing giveaways every week because we think that might be a fun activity to have every week. And part of that would be StreamYard apparel. So who knows? You might get your wish soon, Special Chronicles. Julie says, need to automatically see who's commenting when streaming to the Facebook group. Yeah, unfortunately, Julie, there are a couple extra steps there as far as the viewers having to give extra permissions. We wish we could streamline that for you, but it is a Facebook requirement that we don't have control over. Obviously, you don't have to deal with that if you're going live to a page, but I know groups are a very popular option. So unfortunately, not much we can do at the moment for that.
Yeah, Facebook added that during the whole privacy thing that they were having a couple of years ago, and I don't think they have plans to make anything less private than it is now, so I imagine that'll stay as is. At least there is a way to do it, and I know it sucks having to ask your viewers to go through that process, but at least it is possible to get the names and pictures.
Amber says, is there an option for language translation of comments? There is not, but that is a cool suggestion. We're working to provide better language support overall. Like we have tons of awesome users all over the world. So we'd always like to improve it. But to be clear, if someone comments, obviously if say you do a stream to an audience that is in, France, if they leave a comment in French, you will see it in French. But we don't have like sort of a translation feature where if people are commenting on the stream that it will be displayed in your native language. But it's certainly something we're open to.
I'm picturing if you had somebody comment in, their native language and it translated on StreamYard and then you showed it on screen and they'd be thinking, I didn't write that. I didn't speak that language.
Yeah, if you got the translation incorrect.
Yeah, that's good.
Andy says, all my guests are amazed by StreamYard and many create accounts after being on the show. Well, we certainly appreciate that, Andy. Thanks so much. Andrew says, any idea when we'll be able to stream to LinkedIn groups? That I do not know, but I can certainly pass your request along. I'd be curious how many of you are using LinkedIn groups. I don't have much experience with them. I know they're relatively similar to the equivalent on Facebook, but yeah, let us know if any of you are out there using LinkedIn groups and find them useful. Do let us know.
Cool. Yeah.
Charlotte says possibility to add export lists of destination URLs. Not sure.
So
Do you understand that one, Dan?
A list of here's the 8. Here's my YouTube link. Here's my Facebook link. Maybe let us know if that's what you mean. And then you can send that off to somebody else or save it. I
know one thing. I'm guessing here, Charlotte, so let us know. But I know one thing that has come up in the past with other people is like for this town hall, for example, we always go to the same set of destinations. Is the ability to maybe save groups on StreamYard itself. Let us know if that's what you mean. I think Daryl's asking. Sorry, Daryl, I missed your original question, but I think I understand. Basically asking if there's ability to create sort of a registration page on StreamYard itself to notify people of the live stream. We don't have a feature like that, but we do think it would be an interesting addition. So we're certainly open to it, especially when you're doing, an unlisted event and you want people to know when it actually goes out. Tristan says, the ability to export to cloud storage would be great for the download of the stream afterwards. Yeah, I definitely understand how that could be useful, Tristan. Because despite, we increased the length to 15 days, but I know people do forget every once in a while, and it's no fun when you lose a recording. So it would be cool to have maybe an integration with Google Drive and or Dropbox, so that you don't have to think about it. It just automatically gets shipped out to your preferred storage solution. Joe Dog says, when will the StreamYard town hall get to 1 hour long? Maybe in the future we'll increase it. We sort of feel like 30 minutes is a good time, but thanks for that. We do longer ones for when we officially came out of beta. I think we did an hour long stream. So every once in a while we do make them longer. Looks like we're just about out of time here. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll scroll through the comments afterwards to see if we missed anything. Beth's not a fan of LinkedIn groups. Well, hopefully they can improve over time. Thanks, Beth. But yeah,
LinkedIn is definitely they're doing a lot of stuff. So hopefully anything that's not working for you now will in the future.
Yeah, they did a whole overhaul on there. I actually really enjoyed their new interface. It's have you seen that, Dan?
Not the new interface, no.
Yeah, they just did an overhaul on the entire interface, which is actually, I'm a big fan of. It's very clean.
Sweet.
But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with us. This was episode number 90 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall, and we will be back next week at the same time.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone.